Hi, this is Bee from Sorcery Soap, and we're going to unmold this soap today. So, the interesting thing about this soap is accelerated. Rain scents do. I last year got on a kick about rain scents and discovered that a lot of rain scents accelerate. And I forgot about that. I mean, I kind of knew, but I largely forgot about it. And I'll show you why it was a concern, because of what's inside of this. I'm cutting this part off because if I don't cut this off when I unmold it, the soap drags against the outside, the little lip here, and creates lines and mars the soap. And it only took me about 5 years to figure that out. It's like, how come I keep getting mars and lines on my soap? Oh, because there's soap on the outside. That makes sense. Okay. Try to get those pieces off. Oh, good. Good. See this line right here? That is going to be a problem. Okay, great. See this right here, this line? That came off of right there. I have to repair that. It's exactly what I was saying. Not that I wanted an example of that. So this soap accelerated quite a bit, and I guessed that I was going to have some holes in here. So if I could get a little bit of this soap, I can put it in here like that and fix that. Because the ends I always cut off and make for samples anyway. So that's okay. And then we have one more over here. Okay. Sometimes it doesn't work because I put sodium hydroxide. Of course I do. That's how you make soap. No, I put sodium lactate, and sodium lactate makes the soap hard. If you're making soap dough, remember, you do not put sodium lactate in your soap dough. You won't get soap dough. It took me a long time to learn about that, and because I had some failed soaps in the beginning. Oh, shocker. And so what happened was I thought, oh, I'll just turn this ugly soap into soap dough. Oh, wait, put sodium lactate in it. Never going to work. So, yeah, it took me a while to learn that, too. So everything that's in my books, those are hard lessons. Those are hard lessons that I had to make it all nice so that you didn't have to learn the same lessons. And I thought, oh, that'd be good. Yeah, if you did it this way, because it took me, I don't know, $500 to learn this lesson. Well, this one took me, a year's worth of periodically failed soaps. So, anyway. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm just filling in the blanks right there, essentially. Okay, so let's get to it. Almost all. One didn't come out. That makes me really happy. So they're not as exactly random as I wanted to, but the soap accelerated, so that is really, considering what I was dealing with, I am pleased with that. So those embeds on the inside, that's how I differentiate all these. Most people are calling embeds the things that you put on top, And I found that to be less accurate, and when I'm answering questions, I want to be as accurate as possible so that I'm not confusing somebody. And so I call everything on top embellishments and everything inside an embed. Anyway, so that is going to break off right there, but that's okay. Let's see how we work out. Yeah, just a little tip. That's okay. So the other thing too, while I'm doing this, I want you to understand is that accelerated soaps become harder faster. So I have a chance of breaking my wire. Again, experience. Okay, so see I got some pockets here, and I knew it was going to gel in the center. And how I knew that is because it accelerated. So heat will cause that if it's not continuous heat. So the center heated, but I didn't heat up the outside, and I didn't want to put it. I've never C-popped before, which is taking cold process and applying outside heat in the oven. I've never done that, so I didn't want to experiment on this particular soap. And now I kind of wish I had. So I have those pockets. I don't know if I have enough. I might just fill those in with soap dough because that pocket goes all the way through and I need something really soft to get in there. But it's not terrible, for sure. Pretty bar soap, I think. Ah, see, there's the gel. Sure enough. It's a little heartbreaking, but I mean, it still washes okay. I just don't find it very attractive. But if it's purposeful, it's not in my case. Anybody that's a soap maker sees that and goes, yeah, that's what happened there. See, there. And the other thing I don't like about it is that yellowy look, because it almost looks burnt to me. Well, some nice soap makers might be getting some gifts. Yeah, I'm not going to buy that fragrance oil again. It's just too much trouble. I went to all this work to put this together and then use this thinking I could handle it, and I have a pretty nice water discount for this too, so that isn't the problem. And this doesn't happen in any other thing except for those fragrance oils. Fragrance oils are the bane of my existence, I can tell you that. Everything could go perfect, and then all of a sudden something goes sideways, and it's always because of the fragrance oil. So one of the things that I do is, see, I didn't need to test this fragrance oil. I think I kind of knew it would. I was just hoping that maybe I was special that day, but clearly I'm not. Anyway, so one of the things, though, when you see me put up pictures of soaps and whatnot, it's not just how I think about the soap or what I think the soap smells like that I'm going to share, because that's so different. Everybody's different. But I do the striped on the side pour, because that takes a really beautiful fragrance oil in order to do that. You can't do that with like something that's going to accelerate, because you'll just get clumpy lines, which I have an example, and if I can find it, I'll put the picture up of each one of different fragrance oils and how they behaved when trying to do the same technique. That to me is a helpful idea, because for me, like if I want to do a very slow gradation of color, I need a fragrance oil that's going to not even affect my soap. Like there, you didn't even know you put it in except for the scent, so it doesn't do anything to my soap. And because it has to pour very, very loosely, and I need to be able to control trace. And if fragrance oil tells me how to control trace, or controls trace for me, then I don't get a choice in that, and that's not a happy day, honestly. So, all right, I'll cut this in. I don't really like cutting my flowers into the center. So yeah, I gotta gel through the whole thing. I knew I was gonna do that, kind of. Again, I thought I was special that day, but clearly I'm not. Anyway, it'll still work, it'll still clean, and that's ultimately the goal, right? I'm gonna try and salvage this guy. So, let's see, I want this here. Yeah. There. That's a little bit nicer, right? Hey, see, that one came out nice, except for that part. I'll have some work to do on this soap. So anyway, I hope this video helped, and let me know if you have any questions. To be very clear, and for those of you who are patient enough to listen to the end and maybe have the question, these are all soap dough, and they were extruded through an extruder, which I don't happen to have one right here, but you can look up the word extruder, and I wanted them to look like raindrops, which partially does. It's a little bit sideways here. Anyway, so that was soap dough. Those were made the day before I put it into the soap. They don't have to be cured. They can be cured. They can be dried, however you want to phrase that. It doesn't matter. You can put them in. You can make them that day and put them in your soap, and they'll be fine. You can make them and let them set for weeks, and they'll be fine. The reason that I don't let them set for weeks anymore is because the soap dough and the soap batch will cure differently. And here's what I mean. If I take a hard piece of soap, let's say you have a bar of soap that you've let cure for 8 weeks. It shrunk. And then I put it in wet soap, right? And then the soap is going to shrink around it. It will more than anything be inconsistent when you go to plane your soap off. Now, if you don't care about that, then you could do any of that stuff. For me, I didn't like them pushing out, so I try to make the embeds the same time that I put in here, but just let them dry just maybe a day or so that they all cure sort of the same way. So when I go to plane this, that these embeds won't stick out. I don't know if that makes any sense, but hopefully it does. Leave me a comment, questions, all that stuff in the thing below. Okay, thanks. So I wanted to show you how to fill this in. Ready? So this is all going to get planed off anyway, but I wanted to pack that hole. So it's okay. So I plane my soaps, so packing that with soap dough right now and it not being particularly even is really okay. That's probably a better hole to explain it to you on. Treated soap as soon as I unmolded it like it's so precious, but it's fixable. All of it is precious, but it is also very fixable and rather resilient. I'm sure I'm not the first person to think this little piece up here, and people have probably been doing this forever. I'm just surprised it took me so long to figure it out. See, that was going to cover it up. I'm going to plane it off, so. And that little mark is from my cutter. It's upsetting to me that cutter is the way it is. I loved it at first when I realized, because I just didn't have any cutter, so I loved it at first, and then I realized, wow, the craftsmanship isn't super top notch, because I got another cutter from another company that is top notch, and I went, oh, now I see the difference. I didn't know what I was talking about, even though I was excited, but I guess it's okay to share your excitement, yeah? Anyway, you get the general idea. Thanks for watching.